Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Devon Werkheiser.
And I'm Lindsey Shaw.
And today, Lindsey is going to teach me the top 5 tips for turning your life around. Hi.
That was super somber, dude.
Listen.
Is that how you start these?
No, this is just that post-Coachella tired.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm getting 3/4 of you.
You are. You're going to need to carry this pod, okay?
When do I not?
So true.
Right?
So true. But also, it may sound somber, but no, I'm like really, my heart's super open. So I'm really here. I feel very present. There's just I don't have a lot of energy.
A lot of extra energy.
I don't have extra.
You know what I mean?
I just have what I am here. Okay?
Basic necessity energy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm showing up to you with the bare minimum, Linz. So thanks for coming back on. You were on like one of the early episodes of Growing Up, season 1.
That was very exciting.
That was.
And I haven't seen you since. Almost. No. That episode was really good. Was supposed to get back in here for your last round. Was sick for the first time in 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know you actually, I was like laughing out of care for you, the videos when you were sick, when you canceled, like you looked rough.
Did you think I was lying?
No. I knew you wouldn't bail on me like that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
No, we've come too far.
I completely agree.
We've come too far.
Absolutely.
What a year and a half we've had, huh?
I mean, I feel like we got closer in this year and a half than we have ever been in our lives.
Except when we were
making out.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Except for then.
No,
but yes.
The experience of you this year has almost made up for the 20 years we didn't talk.
I agree. No, I agree.
Is that not like...
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you in my life again.
I know.
Like I'm so happy.
I know, me too.
Like it's so good.
I know, and it keeps getting like, like I keep getting more comfortable with you. I'm like, is this who I am? Wait, is this who I am? Because who I was like a year ago, I feel like showing up to these spaces is different than who I am now. And I'm like, am I starting to understand who I really am against a safe sounding board?
Dude.
And a consistent, safe thing?
Dude, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it. Like, I mean, that's part of what we're going to talk about is like, we're coming out of some chaos, starting to stabilize, and then that's a ongoing fucking process, man.
Yeah.
And I get to witness it as like your friend as an adult now, but also knowing you, who you were as a kid, and like, I'm so proud of you, dude. Like, I'm so proud of you. It brings me so much joy to watch you progress now. Like, I'm so proud of you, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I feel very proud to share the experience with you.
Yeah.
Because I love going to the group chat. I'm the only emotional one in the group chat. I'm literally like, and y'all are just sending like memes and shit and like good news and like, hey, I just talked on a business call.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm having a day, guys. Help.
But I love that we can be there for you like that. Like it's good to have friends. You can just go like, my fucking head is like spinning and what the fuck.
And I honestly don't I trust so deeply in not being judged by you guys. I've never been more comfortable in my life around people, even in my own family, I think. Like just finally coming to grips with like being able to trust who I am and myself and my own output and what I need from you and being able to put that out there with my own voice and then like, having it bring me back dividends.
Yeah, not be. I mean, you're with two me and Daniel are very non-judgmental people.
So non-judgmental,
like,
and thank God for that. I mean, I've thrown some stuff at you.
Oh, you sure have.
I've thrown some stuff.
You've thrown some shit our way for sure.
You know what I'm keeping myself from doing just because like I know we do need a little bit of like separation.
What's that?
Sending you photos of my poop.
Your poop?
My poop.
Please don't do that.
I actually have one saved as a sticker.
No, please don't do that.
And sometimes I send them to Alyssa and she just...
You know what? That's for Alyssa.
Yeah, no, I could never show either of you.
Listen, I'm very non-judgmental, but I'm gonna fucking yell at you. Like, I'm gonna yell at you if you, like, I don't need that.
You want to fart in a jar, but sending you a photo of my shit is too much? You want me to literally...
Yes, there's limits.
You want me to... like,
listen,
air hose your fart.
The listeners don't have context for Pacino.
Oh, come on, we know you watch Ned.
They don't have context for Pacino, Lindsey.
Pacino.
I don't think that episode's even aired yet.
Well, all I know is that you want my fart particles in your nostrils.
No, I
and
don't.
I want
Listeners
your
at home,
eyes
no.
on my bowels.
Listeners at home, no, I do not. That is just there's a lot of context to that story that's not being given here.
This isn't one of those podcasts, huh?
No, Lindsey.
Okay, fuck. Let
Listen,
me practice my new self.
Get off poop.
Let's move on.
Okay, so I wanted, season 2 of this pod, we do countdowns of important tips on a certain subject. And what I was interested to hear your thoughts on was turning your life around. Like, I think a lot of listeners can relate to or will know people in their life who like just ended up far from who they are, far from love, friendship. Like you were in chaos.
A reason to live.
Yeah, you were in chaos, man.
Yeah.
And now I've seen you progress. So how'd you turn it around? Give me. Can you count us down in backwards? So what you got?
So basically, you want 1 first?
I want 5.
You want 5. Right.
Well, depends on what's the most important.
In order
one.
of importance. Anyway, let's go on.
Okay.
5 is...
Listeners, if you're like me, you are, let's say, actively getting better at organizing your finances, but there's a lot of room for growth. I've talked about it plenty on this show, but one of my biggest errors when it came to organizing my finances was I wasn't using the tools available to me at the time. Like this week's sponsor, Rocket Money, who I absolutely loved. They have changed the game for me keeping my finances organized and clear and easy to access, right? It's an all-in-one interface where I can look at what's coming in, what's going out, all my subscriptions, cancel unwanted subscriptions. I guarantee you right now, you are paying for a subscription that you forgot about. I know this because as soon as I signed up to Rocket Money, I found a few apps I didn't even remember downloading. Websites I can't remember ever being on, and I was paying them monthly. It's too much to think that we can remember everything we're signing up for in this day and age. And Rocket Money is doing it for us. They make it easy to cancel unwanted subscriptions. And overall, my financial health is better because of Rocket Money. I use Rocket Money, and you should too. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. Seriously, I haven't been saving in years, and now I'm starting to because I can just see it all right there in front of me. It helps me conceptualize it better. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Spend your money on things you use and enjoy. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/growing up. That's rocketmoney.com/growing up, rocketmoney.com/growing up.
All right. So number 5 is you have to recognize that you're on fire. Okay. You have to recognize it. That's all. You have to admit it. You have to admit it to yourself. If you don't recognize you're on fire, there is no turn. You know what I mean? It's just a straight, fast, like straight line that you're going down. So once you realize you're on fire, that is when you start to have choice, right? If you don't realize what's going on, you don't have any choice in how to fix it, or if you don't acknowledge what's going on. So you're on fire. Great. Now, what do you do next? Number 2, stop, drop, and roll, because you're on fire, you know, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You have got to stop what you're doing, drop what's ever in your hand, and roll away from your situation. No, but really, you have to consolidate your energy at that point. You have to figure out what's vital, just like in a life or death situation, because that's what you're in when you're on fire. What is vital that I need to carry with me? Just like your body shuts down in fight or flight, like what isn't absolutely essential when you're trying to get away from something.
Yeah.
That's what you kind of have to do with your own life. So you start to consolidate what is absolutely necessary. Okay, I have to go to work. I have to eat. I have to bathe myself. Like you literally break it down to things that simple.
Yep.
you break it down to things that simple. You make sure that you're conserving your energy, okay? And then you have got to remove yourself from the environment that it happened in or renovate your environment so much, right? And that's part of consolidating your energy kind of for me. I pulled a geographical and I moved to Arizona with my family. I know not everybody can do that. So sometimes you really have to root out in your own house what is going on because you cannot get healthy in the same environment that you got sick. Right. Absolutely not. So consolidate your energy. You have to highlight in your life like what in your energy or in your environment needs to be like sorted out. Do you need to drop a substance that's in your hand? Is it a vice? Is it sex? Is it something more progress related or process related like work or food? So you consolidate, change your environment, then you go into a plan of recovery. So you see how your plan of recovery can fit into this new routine, this new lifestyle that you have, right? This consolidated energy. Your plan of recovery will help you expand your life again in the areas that you want it to go into, right? So oh my God, I'm getting so hot. I can't.
This is what happens when Lindsey talks for real.
I'm so hot.
Her face sweats.
I can't. And other parts of my body are sweating.
The face is just what we get to see.
Can't.
I love you. Take a breath. I love you, dude.
Oh my God. You know what I'm remembering is when I had to go get a suitcase for when I was leaving for Arizona, and I couldn't leave the house without being completely drunk. So I was completely drunk, but unfortunately all that I could drink at that point wasn't enough to get me drunk. So I was still super aware while I was outside this fucking TJ Maxx trying to get this suitcase. And I remember like I had to be out there with an Uber, like calling my Uber, and I was so nervous around this fucking like suitcase. And like,
this was when you were going back to Arizona?
This was the suitcase that I had to get to go back to Arizona.
Wow.
And this just like reminds me, I'm like sitting in that time, like waiting for that Uber. Like my body is still so in that time of like consolidating my own shit. I had to consolidate the apartment I was in.
Whoa.
I had to, bring only what was essential and give away everything else I had built. I had to give away my bed and my 2 side tables. Like everything that you consider part of your identity and that intimate identity had to be taken away. Like when I say consolidate your energy, it's not a cute fucking thing.
No.
It's super painful. It's physically just fucking exhausting. Your motivation to do anything is just not there. So let's say you consolidate your energy and move your environment, then you have to have a plan of recovery. And that involves a lot of different things for a lot of different people based on what your vice is.
Right. Was yours rehab?
Yeah. Yeah,
it
was that. It was dropping the industry.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get healthy out here. Every single spot that I would pass reminded me of a time that I wanted to forget.
Yeah.
And that I couldn't heal from when it was just constantly being itched like that.
Oh.
I was financially fucking bankrupt. I mean, I imagined like disappearing into like going and hitting up somebody in Malibu who had drugs.
Yeah.
Right? And just disappearing with them forever.
Yeah.
Not telling anybody, just going and becoming like a drug addict.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. And so I moved, I consolidated my energy, couldn't believe it. My world was totally fucking different. My plan of recovery.
Letting go of the industry is huge.
You have to think it was my only identity.
Right.
That was it.
Right. Coming from acting as a kid into it is everything if you're still pursuing it.
Right.
It's everything.
And like
and we grow up with like a fear and an anxiety of like, you can't miss an audition. Like there's a scarcity that you feel when you're pursuing it, right?
Yeah.
Like that it's like, I can't not have reps.
Yeah.
I can't miss an audition. Like I have to be ready and on, and I have to be here for it. Like it's a huge part of identity and self and priority, and letting that go for your health is big, dude.
It kind of was. I feel like I gave it away. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like I gave a lot away. My fucking sanity, this and that and other. Like that's what I mean. Like, you have to realize you're on fire before you give all of that away just to be on fire. Like, I just didn't realize how much of it, like, I was just giving it away. Nobody was tearing it from my hands. Nothing was really like,
Yeah.
it just was like, and so I got to Arizona and I would go to the grocery store and people would recognize me. And I'm not kidding you. Immediately I would be sweating. Like, I wouldn't even know how to respond. Like, I remember I was with my uncle once and I was like, yes. Like, I couldn't even talk. I felt like I had totally like, I was nothing anymore.
Yeah, you were separated from that identity, and then someone's recognizing you for it. You're like, I'm not that right.
All I had left was being a drug addict.
Damn.
Like, that's all I had left were these character defects on the other side because I wasn't attached to any of my light anymore, right? And so the plan of recovery sort of came in out of default for me. But if you can choose to do that, if you can choose to be a little more intentional about it. Like, I remember the first time I got out of my 5150, the doctor was like, so you're sure you have a plan of recovery? And I went down this. Didn't do any of that. Not only did I not do it, it wasn't in place, right? And I went in and picked up that day. And so having a plan for yourself is important. I remember the only thing that I could attach to before I left here was yoga. Like, I went to yoga twice a day, and I had been doing that for like a couple months. Still couldn't get out of my funk and was still using. But so I attached to yoga out there. That became a huge part of my plan of recovery. Is I started working at a yoga studio and I started just taking yoga. I was like, okay, I'm a yogi now. Like, that's it. That's what I do. I thought that's what I was going to do for life. I started teacher training, like all of it. My environment was completely fucking different. My family called like emergency services on me because I didn't have money or insurance to like get help at that point. And so there was an emergency call like out to my aunt's house to talk with me because I was just having a fucking time, dude. I was like fighting with my grandma.
Yeah.
I remember drinking once there because I got so angry. I was like, fuck you guys, went and back the fucking fries and just like drinking and being like, well, you gotta go back to their house. Like, you know?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So it took like group therapy out there, which was really fucking awkward because people recognized me, you know, what the group therapy that the state offered, right?
Yeah.
And then personalized therapy wasn't available. I didn't start getting money out there until a couple of residual checks in. So like, when I say I consolidated my life, like, I was sleeping on my uncle's couch after having free reign of like a car and this and that. Like, I had no freedom, no nothing. I had to ask to borrow the car to drive to yoga, you know, like just a completely different world. But then, like, I started laying in the plan of recovery a little bit. I started doing the yoga. I started doing the breathing and this and that. Had another big breakdown and went to my outpatient program, which was really helpful. And that's where I first learned that, like, oh no, it's a plan. It's not just recovery. It's a fucking plan. Like, you have to plot the points, stay on it, blah, 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 blah. So I got my plan there. Unfortunately, the plan and the map sort of like, I lost it again for a little while in there. Really found my plan again when I got sober.
Yeah.
And this like 2.5 years has been the best 2.5 years of my life. But sticking with a plan has helped. And so the next thing is practice. Practice. And it's like one of the things that I'm like so bad at, but you have to practice your recovery. You have to practice new relationships that you want with people. You have to practice new ways of communicating with people. You have to practice noticing your character defect, not doubling down on it, and being willing to change it right then and there. You have to be in constant inventory of yourself, which kind of gets a little discouraging sometimes because you're just like, but I guess like that's life. But I guess when you have like this extra thing, it feels so much extra to try to get back to a surface. Even if I like have a bad dream, even this, that, or other, like it takes so much work to like to put that heaviness aside.
Get back to baseline.
To put that heaviness aside.
Yeah.
You know? So it's this practice and this routine of your life getting bigger again. I'll
say I've seen I'm sure one of the things you've practiced, because something I've seen is like when you get Lindsey flared up, when you get triggered and you go from 0 to fucking 12. One of the things I've seen over the last couple years is your recovery time is now really quick. It's like it's allowed me to trust everything's gonna be okay more, because I try and come with that energy with you anyways. It's just like it's all like it's okay. But I've watched you go through these moments where like all your shit comes up and I get it. Usually what you're being triggered by is something real, but then it just brings all of your stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really intense. But I've watched you then, 12 hours, you're like coming back like, hey.
Okay.
Yeah, like a lot of that was me. I see what happened. It's okay. And that's practice. That's work.
Yeah.
That's work, not doubling down on like, okay, yesterday I was insane, but sorry.
Yeah.
Not insane, but
no,
yeah,
I mean,
yesterday I was being fucking crazy. Rather than doubling down.
I don't stand by those actions, and I would be mortified if anybody ever showed them on a big, like, it's scary. It's yeah. And that's when you have to work through the shame of it all again too, right? Which is kind of like figured out, like, that's what my personality is. It's sort of just this constant release of pressure from shame, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. People are like, oh, like, you're courageous to tell. It's like, no, this is actually just a way to live. I have to live this way, or I'm going to explode. Because shame is in everything I do. It's actually one of the pillars of who I am. No, it's one of the pillars that I'm breaking down of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you really, yeah. The practicing. I mean, it sucks when that still happens around people, and there's no feeling like fucking blowing up and like having somebody see that side of you. It's heinous.
I think it's good. I know with us, I know it's good that Daniel and I, Alyssa, that like we can see it and have no noise about it.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Like, I think it's good for you to know you have people in your life where like, it's okay, dude. Like, yep.
Yeah.
You went there and it's okay because I know you. I know your heart, and like I know what you'll come back to, and like we're here.
Yeah.
You know? You can't go through all that alone.
Yeah, and I can't help but to go through it in public. Like at my whole life. Like my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what it is. And so my fifth thing for rounding this out, dude, I'm so glad. You see how hard it is to turn your life around? I want you to, don't you dare cut out fun in 1 second. Okay? Because, no. My nervous system is absolutely still ironing itself out.
For sure.
I mean,
the process, man.
Showing myself still, I think that I'm ready to show myself, and then it's like, whoa, no, actually sitting in and showing yourself like, woo,
yeah,
here I am. Okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's all of the things that you don't want to feel.
Yeah.
And then you feel it, and you're like, oh my God, I feel so much better. Like right after sweating, like I feel so much fucking better. And it's like, it's okay. Allow yourself the grace to like, let your body respond differently. Let your mind respond differently. I do not deal with stress in the same way. I absolutely do not. My body is like, you have used up your ability to gracefully handle stress, okay? Like you handle it in this way now. And I know that's because my nervous system is like trying to,
Well, also for like 10 years, any stress, you'd go to a substance.
Right.
Which shifts your nervous system, right? So your nervous system's like
right.
fucking sweating. Your nervous system's like...
Even when I notice that I'm sitting in it, when like I would just be on the road to Walgreens, because I would always get my tequila there.
Sure.
I would be on the road already there. I've said this before. It's like, so part of the stop, drop, and roll is really stop, because you're going too fast. Like you're going too fast to live life okay.
Yeah.
Right? If you would slow down for just a second and let that little voice come into your head and let it speak, you'd probably be better off, right? Because I was in, like, it would go, anxious, shit. Now I'm in a black hole, and now I'm literally like American Psycho, and I can like do anything to achieve. You know what I mean? I've literally gone into shark eyes, and I can go and get what I need to get and come back, and now I'm in drug land.
Yeah.
Because it was like, don't do it. Shoot.
Yep.
You're gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't a choice, and then it was a little bit more of a choice like towards getting sober, and then, it is the choice now.
Yeah, I'll say like your experience is like a really like deep part of the spectrum of the human experience and turning your life around. But I think all of us will have many times in our life where we'll just find ourselves lost. Like, we'll find ourselves in this place where we do need to turn our lives around, even if we didn't get there through like drug addiction. I mean, it's happened to me. I've been going through this process this fall and winter of kind of struggling with where I'm at in my adult life, and not realizing I was running from whatever this process is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to happen to all of us throughout our lives is we won't mean to get there. You didn't mean to get there. You didn't intend to get so fucking lost, but it's that speed thing you're talking about. You run from a feeling without realizing it. You do it unconsciously. Like I in the fall, some shit got triggered. I wasn't aware, and all of a sudden, subconsciously, I was running away from a feeling inside myself. And just like you said, like just moving really fast, just reacting, just coffee, like coffee, phone, weed, like talking, and just like running away from myself. And I had to realize, like I love your tips. I had to realize, I'm a little on fire. I need to slow the fuck down. Plan of recovery, I was like, okay, I haven't been doing any of, I've heard them called keystone habits. So you did yoga, like keystone habits. I'm like, I haven't been doing, other than working out, I haven't been doing my meditation. I haven't been doing any spiritual practice. I haven't been slowing my fucking mind down. I haven't been doing therapy. So I realized I was on fire, slowed down, was like, all right, time to call the therapist, time to start meditating again. Even if I can create one moment in the day where I actually sit still and feel what I'm feeling, that's starting to put out the fire at least, or at least like feel it.
Yeah.
So I've had a little plan of recovery that is honestly, it's been helping.
Yeah.
And then, consolidating energy is a big one. Cutting things out.
And I have to say, like, what the biggest tool that helped me turn my life around was AA, was group therapy.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking group therapy state sponsored. I'm talking just like people coming together under, all with this same frame of knowledge and all coming at their lowest. Like nobody's coming here with anything to shirk off. You know what I mean? I like never sweat in there because I'm not holding anything up. Like maybe I do. I cry a ton. But there is a group for almost everybody. And what it is, it's people helping people.
Yeah.
It's not an authority helping you. It's not somebody telling you what to do. It's literally a peer who has no bias in your life other than just to sit here. They're getting healthy by helping you, by being of service. So like you give somebody this opportunity to be of service, you learn a fucking shit ton. The biggest thing you learn is that you are not alone. Everybody is at some weird fucking crossroads in their life because of something that they got too caught up in or they did this, that, and other. And it's like, it is the cheapest and most efficient way that I got help. And so like, if you feel, if it's not that bad yet, that group therapy, man, just having the choice to put yourself in that was amazing. And you don't like it, you don't have to go more than once. And they're on Zoom, like everything.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's so true. That's out there for everything. Like, guys, grief, oh my God, it's so nonlinear. It will come up again and again and again as you kind of get distance from that experience. You'll have to look back at it from a new vantage point and reintegrate those feelings, and then it'll happen again. That's been my experience with it. So yes, it helps to feel not alone. And I know there's groups out there for if your grief is about a loved one being a drug addict or someone dying, like to feel not
Sex,
alone.
gambling,
all
anything.
of it. Yeah, to feel not alone in your experience. Oh God, that's where there's release, isn't there? You're like, oh, I'm not broken is the thing, right?
Oh my gosh.
I'm not broken.
So one of the things, and I know they're like, you keep AA on the down low, and I do. I'm not trying to, the anonymity of it, I'm not trying to whatever. But the greatest tool, the freest therapy that there is the inventory that they have you do. And it's writing down the people who have harmed you, writing down what happened, writing down what you could have done differently, and then what fear stopped you from doing it differently. And what character defects did that bring up? And it's like, oh, you see the same thing written down 3 and 4 and 5 and 20 and 25 people in. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. Oh, okay, that is a feeling. I'm not a shitty person.
No.
I have shitty behavior, but I can have compassion because this is the fear that has stopped me every time.
Yeah.
And this fear is obviously recurring. This has
Right.
caused
This fear exists in other humans.
Yes.
Like, oh, this is my human experience.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, this is a reaction to life that
Yep.
can lead to some fucked up behaviors, but it's
that you're
natural.
not alone in.
Yeah.
And that is totally natural, and that you can totally channel to help work for you.
Yeah.
You know? Like, all the energy behind what you're running from is going to be the energy behind you when you're running towards what you really can't. Like, you just got to put the momentum in the right direction, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that's been a part of it.
And the last tip is just like the maintenance, which is the hardest. They're all fucking hard, but like the maintenance of it after you lose that gift of desperation, like you have such this desperation when you're going in to get sober, when you're going into AA or that first year where you're just like the guilt from the last thing you did that made you get sober, or like the I can't stand it. When you start to get away from that and you start to be like, well, life isn't so bad. Maybe I could, blah, 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 blah. You lose that gift of desperation and the gas pedal on your healing sort of, you start to float again. And it's not like, you know what I mean? You can start to fall a little bit, and you will by default. You will. You will start to fall if you're not constantly putting in effort to go the other way. That's just kind of what life is. It's a suck. It sucks you, and not in the greatest way all the time. But unless you're really counteracting the gravity of life.
It's so true.
Plastic surgery. I don't know why my head just went there.
What? Well, no, but it's so true. Like, necessity is such a great catalyzer for change.
Yep.
And that necessity has an energy to it. Like, you move in another direction.
Right.
I must go this way. And then, then you start to balance, and it's like,
what? What was I even running from? Yourself. No,
yeah.
But yeah. The maintenance of it, of the good practice is just like you say, it's just annoying. Like adult life is kind of annoying. Like the
really
maintenance
can
of
be.
everything.
Yeah.
But so vital.
So vital.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've said before, but like I know I'm going through a process that I need to address when like the simple, mundane adult maintenance tasks, and like, look, we all have a little resistance to that shit. Like that, there's a natural resistance to it where it's like, I don't want to fucking do my laundry today. but I notice when it's kind of a prolonged, maybe couple months where every task is taking all of my energy, that's when I catch up to like, oh, there's an internal process that I need to put some attention on. Like, I don't know what it is, but if a phone call is like taking all of my fucking energy, if answering an email is fucking like breaking my brain, and I'm like, hello, Bob. Nice to hear from you.
If I'm literally giving myself a little reward after every tiny thing.
I'm like, oh, I did one email today. Weed. Like, come on, Devon.
Yep, I'm going to have a cigarette. Done. That's like my go-to. I'm like, good God, I've just
that was exhausting.
So
I know. I think of people who like do like so much in their life. And I'm like,
and I'm literally
and then
like,
the shame comes in. I'm like,
I'm taking cigarette breaks.
See, but that's an interesting part of this process is so it's not helpful. So then when I have that happen or I'm in that cycle, then I have this shame of, oh, people go through so much more and handle so much more. And then I go, oh, I'm such a piece of shit because I can't handle my beautiful, blessed life and answering these business emails and make a phone call and do my laundry in my apartment that I can afford. Like, then I beat myself up. But guess what? That shit isn't real either. The shame doesn't help me. I actually always have to come back to this compassion of, no. There's actually a very personal process that's occurring.
Yeah.
And me beating myself up because other people go through quote unquote more, it literally does nothing. It does not help me move through this process. Again and again, this happens in my adult life where I like go through those beat myself up spiral and I go, no. Like, no, this is actually my process. And I'm going through it's an emotional process that's inside of me that's holding me up. And I go, oh no, I just got to have more compassion and like put attention on this so that then I can, like kind of buck up as an adult and move forward.
Yeah.
But not until I acknowledge,
yeah,
hey, I'm hurting.
Hiya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, bud. Like little me.
Yeah.
Hey, inner child me, inner teenager me. Hey, I'm hurting a little bit, you know? Like, let me take you with me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, don't you feel like they say like a healed inner child, like you can always hurt your younger self, right? Or your teenage, like, I mean, they can always get hit in the gut.
Always.
Always.
I'm really learning, like I'm really in this weird kind of psychedelic time warp process in my
How many mushrooms did you do at Coachella?
Not enough.
Not enough for the answer I wanted.
Because honestly, this was not even about that. Like this has been happening for months where I'm like kind of realizing part of my adulthood is carrying my inner child and teenage self with me and realizing I need to give them attention and see them and see what they're feeling. And even a healed inner child or healed inner teenager will have a gut punch to life because the kid self will have a reaction to something that the adult self can rationally say, you know, I'm a very intellectual, like I address life with the mind. It can't get to it. My adult self can say, oh, you know, rationally, that's not reasonable, little Devon. Little Devon's like, wah! You know what I mean? Like, what's reasonable, bitch?
Yeah, right?
I don't care. I have feelings.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I do think that's part of this life is like, I said it on another podcast, was like, I'm learning that part of my journey now is ushering my kid self and my teenage self with me through my adulthood and really letting them feel through this, not shutting down their hurt, but then also like being the parent to it because I also can't act like a fucking teenager. My behaviors can't come out of my teenage feelings or my child feelings. I do want to be a responsible man in my life, so I have to usher my younger self with me into this life, even when I'm scared, hurt, afraid, you know, all of it, confused.
When you're talking to your inner teenager and inner child, are you ever saying, usha, usha, usha?
Mm-mm.
Never?
Mm-mm.
Not one time?
Not one time.
Bet you will now.
I might.
Yeah.
I might.
And I want you to go, usha.
You want me to do a little dance with it?
Yeah. And I think you'll bring a big smile to your big man face.
Yeah. Man, I wonder if part of this like connecting to my inner child and teenage self that's occurring is not just from maybe what occurs with everyone and like what's kind of happened with my family and where I'm at in my life, but I am just thinking now, I'm like wondering if part of it is reconnecting with you and Daniel. Like you guys are my kid and teenage friends, and like
of course it's us, dude.
Yeah,
like that's why I'm so like, do you see the little kid that comes out to play when I'm around y'all?
For sure.
Like I love poking you two little shit. Like I love you two. You take me back to the time. It's like with Alyssa. It's like that little like
yeah, this kid like
the thing where you move and just grunts and movements and that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, that is becoming so alive in me through you two again.
I know.
And like the playfulness of life and how stupid everything is.
Yeah,
I love it.
Me too.
Like I love it. And so yeah, I mean, I think that probably bring it up a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like we're like really touching in our adult lives that life back there. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's healing and also brings up stuff, but like getting to integrate that now is so cool.
Yeah.
And like having my friend and my love Lindsey back in my life is so great.
Yeah,
man.
no, I agree.
So good job, by the way, turning your life around.
I was trying not to sweat. Didn't I tell you? I texted you that I was going to sweat when I was reading these.
You barely did.
But it's because I feel like I'm presenting something to you, and it needs to be right.
I'm glad you have this feeling with me.
Yeah,
it does need to be right.
I do.
Don't ever disappoint me. I'm just kidding. I love you so.
It's too late. You know this.
No, I love you so much.
I love you so much.
I'm so proud of you and your healing journey. I'm so happy to be a part of it. Like I'm here for it. I will only want what's best for you moving forward and aim to be like a stabilizing force in your life.
Cool.
And like a consistent force in your life.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll be here, man.
Cool. I appreciate that.
Thanks for teaching us and the listeners about turning your life around. Let us know in the comments, guys, like what your journey has been like with that and which tip of Lindsey's kind of landed or resonated the most.
It's going to be stop, drop, and roll, huh?
I know, that's just got to...
Stop, drop,
and
roll.
It's just got a ring to it.
Right?
Yeah. It's a great metaphor.
For when you're on fire inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not literal.
Not literal.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks. Listeners, I love you. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't. Also, check out Ned's Pod every Wednesday. Growing up, every
Also,
other
check out my
Tuesday.
feed finder.
Check out Lindsey on WikiFeet. Big profile. Okay. Big profile.
Mostly because of the bunion. But
That's those Nebraska.
look for it. You just look
I
for
did.
it.
I was like, that's those Nebraska feet.
Nebraska feed. These were made in LA. I'll do this for you. Oh, I guess I've been doing it the whole time.
Yeah. They've been in there.
Yeah. All right.
Love you, Linz.
Love you so much.
Bye, guys.
Adios.